So good afternoon, my name is Sujin Sai. So today me and my group are going to present about the bureaucracy and teamwork in the Apple. So my team group's name is Tushar Bukhari and Sanima Dango. So talking about the table of context, we will be talking about company overviews of Apple, bureaucracy, the black side of a bureaucracy, team working, dark side of a team working, and a company. So to present the next slide, I'd like to call Sanima for the company.
Good afternoon, sir. Today I am here to present a presentation on the topic of Apple. Apple is one of the more Apple is an American multinational cooperative that designed the manufacture, consumer electronic and consumer computer software product. It was established in uh, Cupertino, California on 1st April 2000 and 1st April 1976. The founder of the Apple company was Steve Jobs. The bureaucracy is a form of organization that emphasizes the precious speed, clarity, regularity, reliability, and efficiency achieved through the creation of fixed division of tasks, hierarchical supervision, and detailed rule and regulation. More than 1970, 1997, the Apple is related to bureaucracy because there is a division of the work and sub division of the labor and structures which ties the system with the employees. The core principle of bureaucracy, the division of labor is complex work broken down into the simple job and divided into the work with other people in the organization. Structure which it ties the system is mean that there is a hierarchical in the organization so that they can work together and share the ideas with each other. Now I like to call Susan on the next topic.
Rules and regulations. So every company has rules and regulation in there. So talking about rules regulation in the Apples, they have set a rules and regulation in their company where Apple have set a kinds of rule in their stores to the employees. Like you should employees should wear their t-shirts, genuine Apple t-shirts. So before putting the t-shirt, they should also wear the deodorants and discuss for emotion. So if any employees of Apple employees are serious sick or what happens, but they should have to come to the they should have come to the they should have come to the work for the work. Like,
So they talked about the mainstream view of bureaucracy. So they talked about the mainstream, the good side of bureaucracy. So I'm here on presenting about the critics of bureaucracy, the dark side of bureaucracy. So like the first dark side, we're talking about the organizational view. So critical theory of bureaucracy basically means the dark side, why bureaucracy is not efficient. Even though people talk about why bureaucracy is efficient, so like even in theories and every day-to-day life, the private companies like prefer to use bureaucracy because they think that bureaucracy is the most efficient way that a company can improve itself and the employees. But then that's not what we as a group think. So personally, I believe that bureaucracy, like there's bureaucracy particular means that there's a certain rule and regulation in the company. So like each and every employee should follow the rules. So like if they don't follow the rules, like they're not adaptable to the company. So like in Apple, it's the same. It's $1 trillion company, first $1 trillion company. So like to maintain the brand image and the value of the company, Steve Jobs used to like promote bureaucracy. But then when Steve Jobs was the CEO of Apple, there was innovation. The first iPhone launched by Steve Jobs, it was like very innovative and new to the future. But then like, have you noticed something? After Tim Cook took over the position of CEO, there hasn't been any innovative ideas in Apple. So the first thing, unable to adapt. So like changes are very prone to happen in our day-to-day life. So like in bureaucracy, the employees and the employer, they can adapt to the changes, because like there are particular rules and regulations. So like if you can't they don't expect changes to happen. So like the employees are focused on one minded side, so like they can't adapt to changes. Second, ignores the ideas of employees. So like in bureaucracy, the highest power makes the decision. So like the employees in Apple, like even though they come up with innovative ideas and like they bring up everything they can, they work in group. So like the main leader, Tim Cook, like if he doesn't approve the ideas, so like the ideas will be dropped. Hence, the ideas of the employees are uh, ignored. Employees hide behind the rules. So like bureaucracy is also described as red tape. Red tape basically means that there are lots of rules and regulations which should be followed by everyone in the company. So like the rules are so prominent in Apple that the employees tend to hide behind the rules. So like I'm doing my job, so it's just for the sake of the job. I'm not doing anything for me. I'm doing it for the company. So like it's not my job to like think more about it. I'm just doing what I'm told to be doing. So like the second thing I'll talk about it is existential view in bureaucracy. So like there's alienation. So like imagine you're working in a group, right? So like everyone gives 100%, like everyone contributes in the group, but then as a group the idea comes as a whole, not a single individual. So like every single individual in the group don't get credit for it. Like Sujan is the group leader for our team, right? So like I'm presenting, so like even though we're being individually assessed over here, talking about Apple, like a group is given a certain task to do and like they follow the task. So like the whole thing comes as a group. So like the one who put in more effort and the one who put in less effort, there's like no differentiation between them. So like it comes as a group. So like the one who put in more effort won't be valued because of his work. He'll be alienated from the work. Repetitive work. So like rules and regulations should be followed. So like every single time the rules are followed, there is nothing new to come. There's nothing new to think about. So like if you're working, there's a particular set of regulations, there's a particular set of how you do your work. So like you follow it. There's no thinking outside the box. So thinking outside the box is what we need to be more innovative. So like if you can be innovative, I think that particular like the work are being repetitive, right? So like every single time the Apple launches its new product, I don't find it like preferable to go to the market and get one, because the starting from the iPhone 5, like every single concept has been the same. So like when Steve Jobs was the CEO of Apple, he used to promote innovation. So like he used to give credit to everyone, but then Tim Cook has promoted bureaucracy in Apple. So like after he came, like what what the group does as a whole, he takes the credit for it, because like at the last the name comes that Tim Cook did this, Tim Cook innovated Apple, like Tim Cook is doing this, hence job is being repetitive. Job security. So like in Apple, according to my research, what I found out was that there is no job security. You do work for the company or you just go. So like the job is replaceable. So like if I'm working for Apple, like if I don't do my job, there are other better candidates who can replace me. So like Tim Cook hasn't given like proper job security to anyone. So like due to in my research, there was an anonymous intern of Apple. Like he even mentioned that there is super secrecy in bureaucracy in Apple, because like you can't even think of communicating with anyone. Like even though people say that Apple is very innovative, there is teamwork, and like there is no hierarchy of power, the inside things are only bit inside Apple. So like the things that the outside world know are not even 1% of what the inside people know. So like the company, the intern basically told that even though in Apple you can't even communicate with the group. So like Apple as a whole is a whole apple pie. That's what he described. So like you can't even take out a chunk of it. So like you do your job which you're assigned to do it. So like you can't think of doing anything more. There's a particular job, you focus on the job, you can communicate with your group. So basically that's what I think is a bad side of it. Sorry. So like in bureaucracy, does it restrict psychological growth of the employees? That's a question to be asked. So like psychologically, the employees working in Apple, I don't think they can grow psychologically because they are focused on a particular task. They can't do anything outside the box. So like, where's innovation over there? Everyone says Apple is innovative, first $1 trillion company. The brand name in the world is super good. But then, if we put ourselves in the shoes of the employees working in Apple, like we should think like, am I growing psychologically? Am I doing well for the company? Or is it just me working as a machine? Human beings are non-machine. Everyone's not perfect. So like, you should be given some kind of freedom to work, right? So yeah, that's what should be thought about. Like, does it help the employees to grow psychologically? I'd like to call Sanima.
Harvard experiment is highlighted to importance the social need and the group norms at the company because the people like to work in the social norms and the group so that they can work in the environment. The working in the team is great because uh, working in the team is the working in the team is great according to the Mario 1949 because the teamwork in the organization can be best rather than working in the individual or the separate organization. Then team role in Apple. The Berlin team role in Apple is the first point is coordinator is important because the people-oriented role is one of the most important so that they can organize in the team and work in the team according to work in the team according to discuss with each other and they have a good listening power and suggest the people to work nicely up and coordinator. The innovator is most important in the organization because they creative the ideas among the creative the ideas and uh, created the ideas and innovated the new things which the company can get the profit according to the product. I like to call the Susan for next.
So as we know, while working in a group, there may be some group of peoples who makes their decisions. Like so, they do their works kindly, but they do not do their work, but give the responsible to others. So while doing so, Apple also had affected their employees. Strong team income conflicts. Apple employees selection is one of the most crucial part because Apple when the Apple company selects the employees, they do not select they select by their qualification. There are various ways to select, but while the both two strong teams be in one team, there may be conflict because of their misunderstanding of their ideas which to put. So team without freedom. Apple is one of the most first trillion company, whereas also it has no freedom for the employees because they have their rules and regulations for the employees are their rules and regulations for the employees are very hierarchy. They give more pressure to the employees, and the employees. So social loafing. Consequently or unconscious, individual may not extract much effort in a group setting as well when they are alone, according to Ringman. So he said that he said that if it is described that people who are prone to work, so less effort when working in the group, and they would work in a, provided the first research was done by the Max Millman, was done on the rope was done by the rope pulling, discovered that increase in the group leads to the decrease in the individual contribution. So group thinking is basically the way the more you think is the more toxic, because you give prefers to other. You don't keep your ideas prefers because the group thinks. Social loafing, why? So lack of identification and individual contribution. So social loafing basically means we are in a group, one people or two or more people showing less effort while working, while they are contributing in their own individual. So lack of identification, individual contribution means, so while working in the group, while working in the groups, Apple or employees of Apple's, there is lack of identification, individual contribution, because if they make any products or idea, but their individual contribution will not be good there, but the groups will be good. So that's why the lack of identification, individual contribution. Low extreme motivation means, so if we are, suppose if our groups, we groups are decided like five from the 5 members. If one member do not do their work or leave the work, then other also may lead to the less motivation and the groups. So social loafing also has a group courses cause more emotional tension, while productivity the decrease. There are different reasons for individual motivation of losses motivation while working in a team. Of course, some people might just have just lay down because they know that other might compensate. This is known as a free radical concept.
Team working as a control is a way that the organized work that involves the people working in the separate team to do a different tasks according to the situation. The working development is important in the team working as control because they work in the performance they work in the team performance to develop the teamwork. Working harder and smarter is important is related to the company, because the work generally it introduces the managerial strategy. Team can lead the stress and anxiety through the work. Self-discipline and supervision is important because they work in the self-disciplines and supervision so that they can increase the product of the company, and it is related to the Baker theories. Work discipline themselves continuously surveillance and created by the identity of the company. In Apple company, the people of this company feel more strongly watch and self-management according to the team system. Resistance at the work. Resistance at the work is mean that they cannot work in the same organization for long time, and if the working is changes, then the people cannot work, and setup is mean to cannot view the own ideas, and put off is mean to view the ideas of the working. I like to conclude.
So to conclude, like bureaucracy and team working are two different things in a company. So like we as a group, we came to a conclusion that even though Apple is a great company and there are many things and many products that people use on day-to-day life which Apple made, we think that Apple can do better teamwork if there is no bureaucracy. So like bureaucracy are like the shackles in the company, which are like containing the employees. So like if Tim Cook gives more freedom to the employees, and like there are less restrictions, so then the company gives more credibility to the employees who do their work. I think that Apple will be a more stronger company. So like to focus more and to do more for Apple, I think that bureaucracy should be limited. I don't say like it should be completely eradicated. There should be rules, certain rules. So but then to promote more thinking and more innovation in Apple, I think that bureaucracy should be limited and teamwork should be prioritized. So like if you have any questions, thank you.